Hey guys, I finally decided to do a Draw My Life. It's pretty boring, to be completely honest, and it was a lot harder to draw than I thought it was going to be. So, yeah. So, I was born on December 1st, 1989, to my lovely parents in Gainesville, Georgia. Um, yeah. As you can see, all of this is going to be stick figures. Um, because that's the absolute quickest way for me to draw anything, and anything else was harder. Um, so after I was born, I lived in apartment buildings for a long time until probably 6 or so years old. The very first apartment building that I lived in was near train tracks, as I am trying so desperately to draw right now. That does not look like a train. Um, but yeah, I moved around a lot, and I didn't really mind it. I actually really liked moving. Um, but yeah, I moved around a lot until I was probably in my teens, and then we didn't really move around that much. We finally got a house. It was pretty lonely growing up. Um, I didn't have any friends or anything because I was homeschooled. But I did do ballet for a while, and surprisingly, I was good at it. My teacher, who surprisingly enough was named Miss Courtney, said that I was good at it. Um, and I was a tomboy. I like to play with action figures instead of Barbie dolls. Um, and I also had my room decked out with video game posters, Pokemon, and attractive women. um, this is probably whenever I was maybe about 12, 12 or so, 12 or 13. And this is whenever I started drawing. I probably was around, again, 12 or 13 whenever I really started to draw. And I would draw literally all day long, 24/7. And I would just draw and listen to music, literally all day. That's all I would ever do, mostly during the summer whenever I didn't have school. And even whenever I did have school, I would still draw. So this is where my life sort of went downhill a little bit. During living at the house that I stayed at the longest, my parents literally always fought. There really wasn't a time when they weren't fighting if they were together. Or talking bad about each other. Um, like I said, I'm looking at this, and as I'm talking, so I'm trying to see what I'm drawing here. Um, we moved into a rental house because our house was foreclosed, and we had an evil landlord, and I absolutely hated this house with every passion of my being because of our terrible landlord. Um, and this is where it starts getting depressing. Uh, Around whenever I was about 15, going on 16 years old, I started suffering very heavily from depression and anxiety. So, our house was like really deep into the woods, so there really wasn't very much for me to do. So I would just sit at home all day long, mostly on my bed, and not really do anything. I would write a little bit, but that's really all that I would ever do, is just sit around because I didn't have any friends or anything, like I said. So I turned to music. I would listen to music a whole lot, mostly to just drown out fighting or whatever was happening around me. And yeah, I would just turn to music, or I would listen to comedians. Anything to really just like try to make me feel some sort of emotion. And then my 16th birthday was probably one of the hardest days of my life because that was during really, really heavy depression, and I just couldn't be happy. And I tried really hard to be happy. Um, and it didn't really work out that well. But my 16th birthday was really, really bad. And then we moved yet again into, yep, my grandparents' house, which at the time was my grandmother and grandfather. And my grandfather suffered from Alzheimer's, and he was in the really late stages of it, so he was completely bedridden. Um, and my grandmother took care of him every single day, and she would have to do literally everything for him. And yeah, so that was my life for 7 years, which is up to current because I still live there. And so then, as soon as I moved in here, I started developing online relationships. Well, not completely just relationships, just, friends and stuff. But it did turn into my very first relationship, which was 3 years long. I don't really want to go into that one, but it was, a good relationship, I guess. And then we go all the way to Rooster Teeth, which was skipping quite a few years, I guess. Or maybe like a year or so. And so I had a account on Rooster Teeth for about a year before I finally got active in it. And Rooster Teeth is where I met a very special person. And within the first day of really talking with each other, we never really stopped talking. And that person made me very, very happy. And he came to visit, and I was extremely nervous. And it was a very good few days. I just feel like being as vague as I possibly can at the moment, but I was very happy, and honestly, it was the happiest that I've been in an extremely long time. So yeah, we stayed together at a hotel for a little while, and I'm drawing me sleeping, and it was just, sleeping with somebody who you really care about is a very comforting feeling. So yeah, whenever he left, I was alone again for the time being, and it was really sad. And I don't really know how to finish off this video, so I'm just going to put it as to be continued because, I'm not dead yet. There's still a few things to continue, but this brings me up to the present. That is my life, and it's probably very, very awkward, but yeah. So I hope that you enjoyed a little bit of this. I know it wasn't anything like what I originally wanted it to be like, but it's kind of hard to make one of these things. Yeah, guys, I hope that you had a good day, and I hope that tomorrow is a good day, and I hope that you enjoyed as bad as it probably was. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you later.